Hey guys, Two Buds Tim here, and I've taken 2.5 weeks off the gym because 2.5 weeks ago I caused myself through being, I wouldn't say reckless, but just not being fully researched, I guess, on citrulline and arginine. I was supplementing that for, muscle recovery and to get a little bit of a pump going on when I would go to the gym. And it caused my shingles to come back and reactivate. That's a thing. Arginine is in foods. It's an amino acid. It's also a supplement. I was supplementing that. And I did 6 workouts in a row, like back to back to back, like, day to day to day. And arginine is basically the gasoline, and the stress on your body via the workouts, in my opinion, was the match. And 6 days in a row was just enough to put me over the edge. And it caused the biggest shingles breakout I've ever had. And shingles are very painful. And shingles are in the herpes family. I think if you've ever had chicken pox, you can run the risk of having shingles. So like anyone can have it, get it, whatever. It's, like I said, painful. I had to take several weeks off from the gym to heal and recover. I'm not looking forward to this workout. It is a little daunting. And, I'm just I think first day back, I'm just going to not load up on what the weights I was doing before to reduce injury risk. I'm just going to get into the movements. And, this won't be a week. I'm not going to try to resume where I left off, right? I need to get back into the motions, get my body moving again. Because when I took off, including a little bit of my diet, which is not good. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because not a lot of people know that arginine can trigger shingles. So I want to put that out there. That's in supplements. That is in pre-workout mixes. That's in a lot of things. It's in chocolate, nuts, that sort of thing. So awareness there. Number 2 is I used to not work out ever. I'm only 6 months in, I guess now 7, to working out. And I've never been the type that likes it, enjoys it, that sort of thing. I just got to a place where I got my body feeling good enough to where I'm like, I'm ready to do more things to kind of challenge myself to, just try to be healthier. And I also think it's really good to get into the habit of, your mind is in charge of your body and it has the responsibility of making the right decisions to make your body move around. So the mind is in charge, right? Well, I'm going to tell you, your body's going to lie to you and say, hey, let's just take it easy, literally all the time. And that was what I was for the majority of my life. I'm 39 now. Again, I'm just now getting into the gym, working out. And most importantly, I wanted to prove to myself that I can make this like a habit. And coming up in other videos and stuff like that, I've already got this information on the Two Buds One Shroom Discord. Please join it by just twobuds1shroom.org and join us. But I want to create like just a video down the road talking about like how I was able to make myself kind of get going back into the gym, especially after, if you're depressed and just not feeling good, and have low energy, it's going to be hard to even think about getting into the gym. That was where I was for a long time. But when I resolved that, I just felt more ready to do it. And being in the gym, or at least exercising and walking even, is really important because that studies show that it has antidepressant effects. It is actually more effective than an antidepressant medication. And there's no side effects other than getting swole, right? But my point in saying all of this is I want to share how I was able to do that. So that is coming. A little update as well is I am starting a series called A Patient Perspective, where I just think that what people have gone through in recovery, what people have experienced with being on medications, all of that and what they have learned from that needs a highlight, needs attention, needs a platform. And you don't have to be a doctor to have an opinion on things, or you don't have to be a doctor to be able to recount what you experienced when you were in the midst of recovery. If anything, I would argue that someone that has recovered from something themselves has, a different set of knowledge than someone that has not been through it themselves. So, I'm going to start a series where I've got some interviews lined up where people have had some unique things. Like one is a diagnosis that doesn't really get a lot of attention, called DPDR, which is depersonalization and derealization. And I've got a lady that's got a really cool story where she's been like 4 years recovered now from her depression, which was, pretty bad. It was like ruining her her ability to kind of run her profession. And I want to make sure that she's got a spotlight. She used ketamine therapy and she's in a great spot now. And I'm looking forward to her interview. I've also, and when I had these ideas to do this, like more than a year ago, there's a couple people that I basically had pre-interviewed, and I just never moved forward with starting this series. I kind of got distracted and needed to do something professionally to make sure my bills get paid and stuff. But I want to make sure that series sees the light of day. So I've just got cool people that have cool stories, and I want to get them out there because there's a lot of things that they have learned that need to be shared with the world. So sorry for not looking at the camera, but there's cool stuff that's coming. Again, I work on the Two Buds Discord all the time. And I hunt for people like regularly that post, that want help, need help, open to options, just hearing out what can be done that may be a little bit down to their liking, like maybe nutrition based options for just what they're going through. And I think that's a big cool thing about the project is there's going to be a lot of people that find Two Buds One Shroom is they're in the same boat as you are. They have symptoms that need to be managed, and they want to get better. And they've got the right attitude to be better and get there. And we want to create a community that is going to support that. So there's just a lot of cool stuff that's coming. But I'm going to bring this up too. Ways to support the project is 1, invite people. 2, like and subscribe to stuff that I write. I like to write. But like just trying to, just supporting some of the stuff that I, just like upvoting, liking things, subscribing, inviting people. I just said all that. But financially speaking, if you ever need certain products, supplements, just ask our opinions on what may be a good supplement or whatever to try. Because I am pretty researched. I am an ingredients guy. Like I want to make sure that the bad ingredients are out because there are definitely some low quality ingredients that just aren't necessary, can cause blood sugar, insulin issues. And that just avoid that stuff. And especially if you're getting a higher quality product that costs the same price, so I try to do my best to research supplements, and I have enough of a foundational knowledge to know, even if it's something I've never tried, I know the right questions to ask to find the right thing that I think will be effective for someone. So Amazon links. If we have a quality, what's it called? Quality products section in our Discord, where you can just click the link and we get a little like 1-2% cut, so to speak, for you clicking that link and buying. So that's just one way to help. The other way is we have a Patreon, and we don't have a lot of content rolled out, even though there is content coming. But I only ask that people consider contributing to the project, is largely for just knowing that it's going to be that money is going to be used to either reinvest to buds, but it also just allows me to spend more time on two buds. And eventually I would like it to be, fully economically sustainable, because it's a lot of work. And I spend a lot of time writing stuff and responding to people, because people hit me up all the time. They've asked me to, just get my opinion on stuff, like what's going on. But, consider financially supporting the project, not for content, but just for the idea of like what we're about. We're going to be giving the patient a platform. We're going to be helping people problem solve and just lay out options that people just maybe didn't know about. Maybe their doctor's not spending enough time with them to let them know that it's out there, because that is definitely happening. And we just got a lot of cool stuff coming. The really just supporting the sense of community, and eventually at some point I just want this thing to grow. And as we grow, there's going to be more needs, like having the videos like edited a lot better than I can, and maybe some graphics work, stuff like that. So even like $1 a month, $3 a month. I think one option is $10 a month too. Like even like every little bit's going to count. And again, I'm not requiring it. I never want to be behind a paywall ever. I want this information to be widely available so people can help themselves, and I want the community access to be available to people too. Because quite frankly, there are some people that literally can't give. Everything's expensive right now, especially in North America. And I understand that. And the other thing too is like there's going to be people that maybe they find the project and they haven't been feeling good, and when they don't feel good, they don't work, or maybe just haven't been employed because the job market's tough right now. And I want to still get people the help that they need. Again, just like I just want it to be available. I don't want to be behind paywall. So I think that support through Patreon and just Amazon links, and if you need blood work done, I've just become a vendor with Ulta Labs. But it's one of those things where I'm not going to be hawking only Ulta Labs. I just want the blood work to get done. There are certain blood work metrics that people can look at that may be attributing to their underlying symptoms. That is super freaking important, that everyone needs to know. And the doctors, when you go there, they're not running enough tests, and it's driving me crazy. It happens all the time. So I have a blood work room that gives more detail. It will get a little bit of an update because I just need to provide more information there. But if you ever need to get blood work done, just know this: you don't have to go through your doctor. You can go through a third-party vendor. Even if you have insurance, they're not going to cover all the tests. Some of them, even if the doctor thinks that they're medically necessary, the insurance company is going to push back and say, it's not medically necessary, and it's going to be declined. You got to pay out of pocket. You got to pay whatever the test is. And that agreement between the provider that provides the service of doing that test and whatever the insurance company agreed upon, that's a prearranged agreement, and that comes at a markup. A lot of people don't know that. It is not cheaper sometimes to use the insurance mechanism. Sometimes it's less expensive to go to a third-party vendor, pay out of pocket, and pay the lower price. It is screwed up the way our system is, but that's another rant for another time. But those are ways that the projects can be supported. I just want to make that a point. If you are battling symptoms of something, consider that to be a valid option. And you can always pop onto our Discord, ask them some questions about what tests may be relevant. And of course, always talk with your doctor. We're not looking to ever replace doctors or anything, because we're not medical professionals ourselves. But I will say that you can be researched enough to make an informed decision. And that's where I want Two Buds to help people with. I want to be a robust, well-rounded, kind of like library and community that have balanced and well-written perspectives and resources that people can read through if they choose, and so they can make their own best decision that is in their own best interest as a patient. And that's just really important. And I think that, again, a part of that is going to be making sure that people have access, people just know that's a thing, that there's metrics in your blood work that may be contributing to how badly you're feeling. And I say that because I wouldn't have believed that as a smart 35-year-old at the time guy. I just wouldn't have believed that would have mattered that substantially in my life. I was wrong. And I'm glad to be wrong, because now that I've got a lot of that stuff fixed, I'm in the gym. I'm feeling good. And when I'm feeling good, I can do good things for people, and I can work harder, and I can just be who I want to be every day. And it's just nice. And if you're not there today, that's fine. Tune in, and maybe I'll put enough things on your radar that you're like, ooh, that's good, I'm gonna try that out. And once you try that out, you can adopt it for yourself and maybe get there for yourself. Good talking with you. More to come.